for such an enlightening and visionary concept and for giving us an excellent overview of what you have been doing so far for us and for the consumers who want a better environment in Pakistan when they go to the food outlets and other outlets. Thank you so much. Now, a little change that we want to bring in to the conference session. We have organized an interactive session for the audience, which basically will comprise of a panel discussion. Suleman Ansar Khan, who is heading the HR at Engro Foods, he will be chairing that panel, and we have 3 distinguished guests who would be part of that panel discussion. One is, we have Farhat Rabia. She is the consultant at Global Management Consultants. She holds around 15 years experience of consultancy and management solutions at Mobilink, previously Mobilink, currently Jazz. Then we have Saba, who just gave us the presentation. She represents Pizza Hut, and she is director at MCR Private Limited. The third participant would be Imran Mughal, and he is representing Subway in the region of Sindh and Balochistan. So let's not waste any further time, and may I call upon Suleman to come on the stage and take over the dice, please. Thank you. Farhat, Saba, may I please request you to come on the stage? And I don't see Imran Mughal over here. Imran Saab, please.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you all hear me? Yes? Yes? Okay, Imran Saab, Farhat, and Saba, welcome here. Welcome on board. We're just going to spend the last 10 minutes or so discussing what some of the human resource challenges are over here in Pakistan. As we all know, this sector, this franchise sector, is a growing sector in Pakistan. All of you have, in one way or the other, played a direct role in contributing to the development of the franchise sector in Pakistan. Imran Saab, if I can start with you, if you can just take us through what is the current landscape of the franchise industry in Pakistan.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Imran Mughal. Franchising, I think we are still... Can you hear me now? Okay. Franchising in Pakistan, I do personally believe, is still at a very premature stage, and we are barely scratching the surface right now. There's a huge potential, and I am very hopeful that in days to come, this industry will grow tremendously. And we have seen the similarly different markets growing, and given their experience where I have been to different countries in Middle East, I can foresee Pakistan industry of QSR will be growing approximately, the size of the industry will be doubling every 3 years. So that's the forecast for the industry.
So you see this market growing?
Yes, the industry size will be doubling every 3 years. So there will be a huge growth in days to come for QSR industry especially.
Okay, excellent. So, Saba, if I can come to you, since mashallah, Pizza Hut has been around for 25 years now. What has been your experience of the evolution of Pizza Hut over the last 25 years?
With regards to?
With regards to the growth of Pizza Hut.
Okay. Perhaps I can continue in the same strain for the HR challenges as well. And I'd like to say thank you so much for having me part of this panel. It's such a pleasure to be 50-50 with men today. 2 girls and 2 boys. Now, this is part of my challenge as well, how to make sure that we are providing women a good working environment such that they can be part of our team. But also, because we are a service industry, women are better at serving food than if they are well trained. Women are very good servers as well as people to be part of the industry. Our HR department believes that pizza is people. If you don't have a good team, if you don't have a trained team, then we are nothing. Literally, we are the people that we work with, which is so very true for all sorts of service industries. With regards to training, especially since we're talking about franchising today, we thought a lot about what to offer our franchisees. We had a look at what sort of training programs Pizza Hut International was able to offer. And we have some online portals as well as some on-ground training that we offer. These trainings are all internationally vetted, so any Pizza Hut you go to in any country, it's the same training, whether it's for back of house, front of house, or for managers. The total training time for a manager in an expedited way is 13 weeks that we offer franchisees. 13 weeks is still too short because learning can never stop. But we believe that we are able to train our managers on the standards and protocols that are required at Pizza Hut within this 13-week training period. After the restaurant opens for a franchisee, we make sure that we have a team with the franchisee team that stays in the restaurant for a full month to train the team further, because there's no substitute for experience. Now, coming to my favorite topic, which is women, I find that it is hard to choose the right person, especially since a lot of the people that we employ are fresh. So they're still sort of, diamonds in the rough. But when we do hire them, to make sure that there's a good gender ratio, but also to ensure that they, that they're trained well. I know I'm talking too much. I know. But yeah, I want to say that, out of the 25 years, we realized that people are what make pizzas.
So just following up on your point, and I can ask Farhat as well.
Thank you.
Saba mentioned how females have turned out to be better service providers as well. They're in fact better in their work productivity as well. However, this gender diversity has been a challenge. It's a new phenomena, especially in the franchise industry. How can we prepare our females to be ready for this industry?
Okay, thank you. In fact, I'll just quote a small story I shared with Imran earlier today. He's been to a franchise in Gulshan. This is next to Osmania. And the reason I remember Subway is because of the service I experienced with one of the executives that was serving me. She was a female. Her name is Aisha, I think. And in all my years of going to Subway, I remember her really well because her service, the way she spoke, the communication, the way she handled my queries, and the way she knew about the product was exemplary. And I think we need to promote such role models in our own franchises, so set a benchmark, because this is the only way we will get more female employees joining in, because one of the challenges of franchise is also retaining talent, because you train them and then there's a huge turnover because they see another franchise coming in, they see better packages coming up, they do move on. So if we are talking about women, we need to give them an environment where they're comfortable, give them equal opportunity to to work, perform and manage, because if we don't give them the environment where they're comfortable and they feel they're being given equal opportunity to, perform and deliver and execute their roles, we are actually losing out on a lot of good resources. So give them a good environment, give them a good performance package, encourage them, and if they're doing well, use them as role models to attract more talent. And basically this, and then in terms of learning and development, we just don't need classroom training now. There's so many different blended learning systems. You can learn online, you can have experiential learning. In my personal experience, experiential learning, which is by simulation, where you go and demonstrate and you ask people to get involved, interact, it is by far the best, one of the best ways of training. And not just the females, let's talk about everyone. Everybody who's involved in learning and development knows that the more involved you are, the more you are asked to demonstrate on the learning skills and other learning areas. Experiential learning really helps because it's simulation, and the impact of this simulation stays for a long time.
So training definitely adds to the skill set necessary to perform your job effectively.
Yes.
But as they say, service is also an attitude. It's an attitude that you need to have.
Yes.
So if I may ask Imran Saab, that how do you teach attitude to people?
It's a very difficult question to answer. I do personally believe that the best bet should be that while you are recruiting people for the customer service industry, you should have a very clear criteria that what kind of people are expected to work well there. Because if I speak about QSR industry, where most of the employees are in their late teens or early 20s, the people are young, and at that age, their salaries are also not very high given the skill sets required and given the education profile required. So to manage such kind of a group, you need to hire people with the right kind of attitude to start off with, provide them in an environment of mutual respect and give them good training and give them opportunities to grow within the organization. So if you hire well to start off with, give them good atmosphere, give them good training, provide them opportunity where they can grow. This is the success formula which I have worked out after working for so many years in the industry. Because if you hire a wrong guy who's not having, like everyone does not have the attitude to work in the customer service industry. So different people are good at different things. You should be presentable, you should be very friendly with the customers, you should have a very, if you have a good sense of humor, it should be a very decent sense of humor. There is a very fine line where the customer starts feeling offended. So these things, and for example, if you don't have a smiley face, then you cannot force someone to smile the whole day long. There are few people, smile comes naturally to them. So for them to stand and greet everyone with a smile is not a job. This is how they live normal life. But if someone is not good at smiling, you can't teach him to smile for 8-9 hours shift. So it's a very tough job for him to perform. That if he's not confident enough to communicate with the clients. So it takes a lot of time before the person comes into the comfortable zone where he starts communicating and engaging actually the customers, going beyond just communicating. We're helping them understand and providing them a quality service which they remember. So what I can say is this, that you need to put your energies while you are recruiting people, try to hire the people with the right attitude and the right profile so that it's easier for them to work, because once they are a better fit for the job, they enjoy the job and they stay there for a longer time period and they grow with you. And if that job is not a perfect fit for them, not only you face problems, the person himself will not remain happy, and the kind of damage he or she will do to the whole environment has its own implications on top of that thing. So attitude is very difficult to change. It takes time. You can change it, but it's a time and effort taking job. So the best bet could be you hire the right people for the right job, and then your life becomes easy going forward.
So hire the right people for the right job. So Farhat, you've been training for so many years. You've ran customer service centers at Mobilink as well. From your experience of running and working with franchise centers as well, what was the biggest difficulty you faced in ensuring each franchise is providing the best quality service?
You know, in my experience, while we were running the franchises in the other company I was working for, a cellular company. It was the commitment by the franchise owner.
Farhat?
The commitment by the franchise owner towards learning and development. I mean, we needed to really urge them to take out time. They wouldn't let go of the employees to really come to any workshop, and also the ability to just the time. They would never give us the time, and also the other challenges were the remuneration that we're giving. There's a basic package that has to be given to your the executives, but they were not being paid as per what was quoted to them. So that left a lot of people unhappy, and they wanted to switch jobs. So that was one of the challenges, because they would always say, if you want us to continue working, we're really happy. How do we move forward? Considering these challenges, we don't have the opportunity to learn, and because we don't have time, we are always busy engaging in their work hours. So I think the commitment by the franchise owners towards learning and development is very critical. You might have a chain of 300 stores, but the service that is being given out is not satisfactory. As a customer, you don't experience that kind of engagement, or the service is not delivered as per the international standards. Then what are you really doing? You're localizing the service and providing a very cheap brand of that company you're promoting here.
So if you're hiring the right people for the right job,
Absolutely.
you're providing them with training opportunities, then if I can ask Ms. Saba, how do you make sure you attract the right talent to come into this industry and then develop a career in this particular industry, considering salaries are lower than other industries?
It's a very difficult question. We've experienced working with such a large variety of people. Everyone's personalities, everyone's experiences shape the way that they experience their work. As a company, our responsibility is to provide to them the best working environment and to provide growth opportunities. For example, one of our general managers, operations, based in the upper north region of Pakistan, started off as I know it is very cold, isn't it? So he started off as a dishwasher. We had a job called the dishwasher. Because we didn't have an actual dishwasher. So we had a job that was called the dishwasher. He was working in Clifton, the Pizza Hut in Clifton, you might remember it. When he started off, we gave him a uniform to wear, and he'd never worn trousers before. So the manager noticed he was, sort of pulling his trousers over and over again. So he's asked, "What's wrong?" And he said, "Zarban shayad fit nahi aa rahi hai." He tied his trouser with a zarban. Anyway, very hardworking, very diligent. He was promoted as a back of house team member and started making pizzas. After that, he was promoted to the front of house, where he started serving people. He was promoted to be a training manager, then a restaurant manager. After that, he was an area coach. After that, he became a multi-unit manager. And lastly, he then became a general manager and is now responsible for over 30 stores. Recruiting is a hit and miss. You can try to recruit the right person, but he can leave you the next day. But if you give the right working environment, the right people will stick with you. You give the right opportunities, they really stand by you, and they're the most loyal people that you will have in the company. So the right person, the right job, but more importantly, the right growth opportunities. So yeah, that's what I'd like to say about that.
Would you like to add anything?
Can I add something?
Sure.
Very good point, Saba. I know someone who worked as a tea boy in one of the cellular companies, and he left that to start working with one of the bookstores, chain of bookstores, Liberty Books. He worked there, he sold books, and then I walked into a franchise coffee shop. He was working there and he was very attentive, he was very happy. He said, I'm really enjoying my work here, I'm learning a lot. Then he moved on to another chain of coffee shops, and he had been promoted as an assistant manager. 2 months ago, he told me he's been promoted as a restaurant manager for one of the biggest coffee shops in a mall. And he was really happy, and he called to just let me know that he's been promoted. He's now managing a restaurant. I was so proud of him, because this is so how was it possible that he grew and he became from a tea boy to a restaurant manager. Obviously, there were people who were supporting him. Their learning and development HR and business team was supporting him, because he had that attitude, as he rightly said. If you have the attitude, if you know that you need to be somewhere, you have to be self-driven. If you're self-driven, you're open, and you self-learn a lot, and you reach the goal you've decided where you want to be. So I think a lot of times it is how much you want to be where you want to be. So that's an example I remember.
I think they have covered it pretty much well. So this is again most of it would be repetition of what has just been said. But once you hire the good people, like Allah Ta'ala has blessed all of us with different and varying skills. It's your job as the manager or as a franchisee of that particular outlet to analyze that which person is better suited for which job, as my colleague just mentioned regarding the story of a boy who was not working well in the back room, but once he was moved to the front of the house, he starts performing and he starts growing. So if the person is not working well in a particular job, that doesn't mean that person is not competent. You have to figure out what kind of skills he has been blessed with and where he is best suited. So provide him the right kind of a job which he likes to work on. When he will do something which he enjoys, his performance and his efficiency will increase tremendously. And that's where his job will no more be a job for him. He will take that thing as an enjoyment. He will be having more fun there. He will be more happy. He will be more efficient and more productive. So that's where he becomes a star performer and starts growing further. So you have to have a proper job fit. For example, if you ask Muhammad Amir to start doing wicket-keeping for Pakistan team, so he would be a very pathetic wicket-keeper, and there won't be any place even in a very small regional team for him. But when you ask him to bowl as a fast bowler, he will perform there. If you ask him to bowl a spin bowling, he might not be that good. So you have to understand which person is best suited for which job role, and then provide them an environment where they can further hone their skills, they can implement what they have learned. And above all, more than anything else, the environment where there is a mutual respect for everyone who is working, this is the best thing which you can give to any employee. Their salaries, their perks, they will not motivate them that much as much their personal relationship with their friends and with their bosses. So I have seen a lot of people who have better opportunities where they are getting better salaries to move on. They don't leave their current employer just because the kind of friendship they have with their colleagues on this job, the kind of relationship they enjoy with their supervisors, they believe that it's worth working here because they enjoy there. So that place might be a job for them. It will pay them more, but it would be a job. This is like a family to me, and I enjoy here. So even at a slightly lesser remuneration, they are more motivated, and they are working, and they are putting their body and soul behind the job, and they are very productive employees. So respect, I believe, and the encouragement and motivation from their colleagues and supervisors is also very important for any employee to perform at his maximum capacity.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. We'd like to open the floor for any questions. Any questions?
My name is Kamran. I run an ice cream company named Ice Cream. The question is there any legal framework out here? Any organizations, any associations where if I'm a franchisor, I've given out 2 franchises, for example. So I'm facing some issues as a franchisor, for example, or if there are franchisees and they are facing any issues as a franchisee. So is there any regulations or associations where we can go to and resolve those problems?
The question is that for the franchisee, are there any, if they're facing some challenges for guidance, so he's asking that if there are any organization or any consultation firm which can better provide them any help with that thing. So if you know of
I think
anything, you
what
can share.
he's referring to is the body that basically, assist any member, franchisee in some way, if I'm not wrong, is it? In a legal or, let's say if you are facing, would you go to your member, any franchisee, that we are facing such and such issue, so let's put, at the right forum.
Basically, like the consumers have their own body that looks after consumer protection. You're talking about franchisees having a franchisee protection body that looks after your rights and looks after and sort of helps you resolve your issues.
It could be the other side as well. For example, if a franchisor is facing any issues.
Something that governs the franchisee
Exactly.
rules and
Exactly.
regulations.
On both sides.
Basically.
I don't have a particular answer to that, but from what I understand, the agreement that you sign with the franchisor, the franchise agreement, that is governed by a legal body that would protect your rights. That's my basic answer to that.
Yeah, my question is regarding the HR entering stuff. As you guys have mentioned all these things because about the training and motivationals. Basically, we just opened up a restaurant in Lahore from UK. That's an authentic American diner, Big Mo's Diner. So the problem we are facing in Lahore is the staff skill set. I understand we can train our staff internally by following SOPs, manual, all stuff as well. But in Pakistan, is anyone doing any kind of colleging, schools, or any institutes, particular institutes, who can train our staff, at least the basics training, the hygiene training, all the stuff as well? Or we have to do it only in-house trainings?
Okay, just to understand your question, are you talking about any institute that develops soft skills for?
Yes. My question is there any institutes in Lahore or Karachi? So you guys are doing some outside trainings instead of having only inside trainings. Are there any institutes in Pakistan?
Okay.
I heard a few of them. For example, the Kotam in Lahore. That's very, very expensive. So, for example, none of my staff can afford the fees. So do they have any other cheap institutes or courses? So I can send my staff to them and they can train them.
Okay, the best forum, because the institutes that I know of, the best forums where you can have public workshops customized to companies is institutes like Pakistan Society for Training and Development. They have a very economical program where they speak to you. If, for example, if you go to them and say, hey, I need soft skill, behavioral, etc. training for my group of 50 people, they will devise a program for you, and it is very economical as compared to going to a consultancy that does very specific customized program, because obviously because they have the venue is on, so the lot of cost that is connected with the venue is taken care of by PSTD. So there's Pakistan Association of Management, there's one of them, and there's couple more like this, so you can actually connect with them. And there are a lot of different small organizations that are delivering very economical packages. The best thing is because the best way to get training economically is to have bulk dates and a lot of people, and then you get a lot of discounts. So, you can connect with me offline. I work with PSTD on these training programs, and then we can see how we can help you.
Okay, that would be great. And my second question is, I have seen many restaurants in Pakistan, especially in Lahore. The staff they are very needy people, and they're coming from, for example, low or middle class houses. the people who are qualified in Pakistan, for example, girls or boys, who has done some, colleges and courses and some from universities, they are not interested to work in the restaurants. So what can we do to change this culture so our educated people will think that this is a job. It is not a knocker or something like that. This is a normal job. So how can we change their minds? It's unfortunate in Pakistan. People think that hospitality is very cheap work. It's unfortunately.
No, I have a lot of thoughts about this one. So, as a person who sees that the poor classes are moving further and further away from the richer, so the poor are becoming poorer and the richer are becoming richer, I realize that the service industry is extremely affected by this. We started training TGI Fridays at front of house staff to greet our customers. So they have to make eye contact, and they have to welcome the person as though you are welcoming your family. Whilst we were in the classroom, everybody understood everything. They were doing it perfectly. But as soon as our customers walked in, they just didn't want to interact with somebody who they felt were lower than them. This idea that people are not equal, I think, is not only un-Islamic, but also a great cause of the growing social issues of Pakistan. And it's exemplified by the service industry. With Pizza Hut, we've noticed that over the past 25 years, our best people are not those who come in educated to the highest degree. They're the ones who learn on the job and they study alongside. It's just something that you have to work along with. But really, if you want your staff to speak perfect English, that's never going to happen. But none of your customers are going to expect that they're speaking perfect English either. You just have to sort of train them enough so that they are able to cope with the perceptions of your customers and are able to go home with a sense of self-esteem that is intact. Not one where they feel that they are lesser than the people that they are serving, because they're never going to go do a good job if they feel that way. And that, unfortunately, is a business need, but also a social need for us to address. That's...
Yeah, I agree with you. So, because I just felt in Pakistan, for example, our servers, our staff, they are not confident, and I'm trying to put so much confidence in the body, so they feel I'm doing my job and the customer is only a customer. He is not my boss. He is not a richer person. So I think this is a big challenge in Pakistan. For example, there is the high class, there is a low class. So low class can't even talk to the high class. They feel we are knockers and something like that. It's very unfortunately, which I felt in Pakistan. So we have to work on it, I think. Thank you.
So
no, I think, sorry, I do want to say this because Farhat has just mentioned it's not just Pakistan. Our country is not unique in this problem. Of course it's not. But unfortunately, it does also exist in Pakistan. So thank you for saying that.
Just to add, I am involved in hospitality trainings abroad, mostly in Oman, and we're engaged with a company that I can't name, where we are working on the transformation strategy from a small location to a big location. And the number one issue was the way they differentiated service according to their origin. So the people from Europe were treated really nicely, very, professionally. Treated from the Emirates, the GCC, were treated royally. And people from a certain parts of Asia were treated really badly because we did a lot of mystery shopping. I was engaged in those mystery shopping. One of my own team member, he's from Kenya, he was declined business class because of where his passport was from. Although he had a business class seat, he was told, sorry, we don't have seats in business class. So what I'm trying to say, it is not only unique in Pakistan, but yes, it is there. So this is an example where, yes, exactly. So the only thing that can help is the culture of the company has to be very strong in respecting not just external customers, also internally. They also see what's happening internally. You know, fellow employees, how are we treating each other based on where you reside? जो Clifton में उनके साथ कैसे आप रह रहे हैं, जो Federal Bay area में उनके, you know, this is what's happening. So you need to first check what's happening within the company. When you check that, you change, make a shift in your culture. Gradually, it will also shift in the way they deliver that service externally.
Thank you. Good question.
With the permission of moderator of the panel, I would like to take question of Mr. Faisal. May I? Thank you very much. Faisal, you put a very genuine question, which is in fact our today's dilemma, national dilemma, that we do not consider professions as a profession in our option, except 2 or 3 professions. And I put this a challenge on the organizations which are doing very good and contributing very good in terms of business in the country, but are not doing career counseling at school levels. What we are doing, we are just putting our students this thing in their mind that beta, you have to become doctor, you have to become engineer, you have to become someone in the army. क्या कभी किसी ने कहा कि बेटा तुम्हें शेफ बनना है? क्या कभी किसी ने कहा कि बेटा तुम्हें जो है एक आर्किटेक्ट इंजीनियर की तरफ जाना है? क्या कभी किसी ने कहा कि तुम्हें अच्छा डिज़ाइनर बनना है? क्या कभी किसी ने कहा कि तुम्हें कारपेंटर बनना है? आज जिस स्टेज पे हम बैठे हुए इतने फ़ख्र के साथ ये प्रोग्राम कर रहे हैं, एक प्रोफेशनल के हाथ का बना हुआ है. ये छोटू चाय वाला जो है एक प्रोफेशनल है, जो सबवेज में किचन में बंदा बैठा हुआ है जिसकी आज बड़ी तारीफ करें, ही इज़ अ प्रोफेशनल. क्लास में उसने कभी नहीं कहा था कि मैंने छोटू चाय वाला बनना है. क्लास में उसने कभी नहीं कहा था कि मैंने बर्गर बनाने वाला बनना है. अभी तारिक अलेक्जेंडर कैसर, if he is still over here, I would appreciate his work. He is a professional, genuine professional. लेकिन कभी किसी ने नहीं कहा था कि मैं रेडी बनाने वाला बनूंगा, मैं रेडी को डिज़ाइन करने वाला बनूंगा. In fact, this is the thing that we have to feel as a responsibility, that we have to educate our students at school level for the career. पाकिस्तान में सिर्फ डॉक्टर, इंजीनियर, अकाउंटेंट्स, लॉयर्स, फौज, सिर्फ यही नहीं कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहे पाकिस्तान की इकोनॉमी के अंदर. पाकिस्तान में हज़ारों प्रोफेशनल्स हैं जो कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हैं पाकिस्तान की इकोनॉमी में. हमें उनको पहचानना है और बच्चों को स्कूल लेवल पे बताना है कि बेटा, these are the capabilities that you are carrying and you have to step ahead to contribute in Pakistan's economy as a plumber, as an electrician. माजरत के साथ मैं दोबारा एक बात कहूँगा, हम इन लोगों को कमी कहते हैं, हम गुनाहगार हैं. मैं कमी उसको कहता हूँ जो काम करने वाला है, और हमारे कायदे आज़म रहमतुल्लाह अलैह ने कहा था काम, काम और काम. अगर ये लोग आज प्लम्बर्स को एलिमिनेट करते हैं हम अपनी सोसाइटी से, तो बताइए किसका घर बन सकता है? लेकिन हम कभी भी कैरियर काउंसलिंग लेवल पर ये काम नहीं करते. मैं रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ऑफ स्मार्ट स्कूल्स, इधर मौजूद तमाम ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल हेड्स को ये दावत देता हूँ कि हमारे स्कूलों में आएँ और बच्चों के साथ कैरियर काउंसलिंग करें प्लीज़. ये आपकी जिम्मेदारी है. हम अपने एचआर को तो बहुत अच्छा कर लेंगे कि जी भाई स्माइली देकर तुमने जो है वेलकम करना है, तुमने इस तरीके से बिहेव करना है. भाई जो प्रोड्यूस कर रहा है आपके उस स्टाफ को, जो स्कूल प्रोड्यूस कर रहा है आपके उस स्टाफ को, उसके ऊपर तो कोई काम नहीं करेंगे. हम ये तो बात कर लेंगे कि राइट एटीट्यूड वाला बंदा जो है उसको सेलेक्ट करना बड़ा मुश्किल होता है, इसलिए हमें उसके एटीट्यूड्स के ऊपर मेहनत करना पड़ती है. लेकिन जो अदारा उसके एटीट्यूड्स बनाता है उसके अंदर तो आकर उसको बताएं कि बेटे ये वाला एटीट्यूड तुम्हें कैरी करना है प्रोफेशनली सक्सेसफुल होने के लिए. So this is what we have to identify as our responsibility. Thank you. Faisal, I really appreciate your question.
Point noted. Thank you. And very valid point. Any other questions? Guys, thank you very much. It's a pleasure having all of you on board here today. I think we very rightfully, starting with what Imran Saab said, with ensuring that we hire the right people for the right type of job with the right attitude. And then we ensure that we equip them with the right skill set so they can perform their job more effectively. And as Ms. Saba also mentioned, that there is definitely scope for growth in this profession, provided we give them the opportunity to grow as well as the recognition. And there were numerous questions related to ensuring that there are bodies available that franchisors and franchisees can turn to for support and cooperation, which I understand more work needs to be done in that because we were unable to appropriately respond to that question. Furthermore, with training and development, there's a need for institutions to come on board, to customize programs, and to assist franchisors and franchisees in developing capacity in our human resources. And most importantly, it starts at the grassroots level, where organizations and professionals like ourselves need to take more responsibility to ensure that we can provide guidance and support to people so that industries like this can grow and prosper. So thank you very much for all of your time today. We look forward to interacting with you offline. Thank you.
Thank you, Ji.